Hey all, Hipper here. So today we're looking at Horizon Forbidden West and the 10 reasons why this game is just fantastic and probably the best game you can buy for your PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4. So the first reason, and also one of the more obvious reasons, is the great locations and the absolute just top class art direction in this game here. And everything runs absolutely perfect. At performance mode you get 60 frames per second and it still looks phenomenal. And the variety in all the locations and all the colors used, and the effects are just in my opinion they're pretty much out of this world, and it makes this game easily, in my opinion, the best looking game so far of this generation here, and probably the best looking game on any console really. It's just fantastic really. Alright, next up, the game has learned a little bit from Tomb Raider over the first Horizon Zero Dawn game, and it's just made the traversal of the environment much better and a lot more intuitive, and also a lot more interesting. There's many more secret areas, and there's many more areas that you can reach by climbing, and also the climbing itself is much better, much easier, and it's just, pretty much perfect really. Okay, up next we have the fantastic story in this game here, and I realized that the first game, Horizon Zero Dawn, the story was more interesting because everything was new. You didn't know who was who and who was tricking who, and you also didn't know where the machines came from, who Pharaoh was, and of course also Elizabeth Sobek was also something that you were figuring out along the way, and obviously of course also Aloy's background. Of course these things have been answered in the second game, but the story is still excellent, and also still one of my absolute favorites of this generation here. Next up we have the music, because along with fantastic art direction, story, graphics, and all the other stuff, you also get just exceptional music in this game here, and I will be quiet now and just give you a little bit of a taste. Okay, the next is the best motion/facial capture, because in this game the motion capture by itself is just incredible. And not only that, if you look at the face capture when people, especially the very important people in the story, are talking, it's the best I have ever seen in a game. And this game came out in March now, I think, so we are about 9 months later, and still games that come out, like for example Callisto Protocol, I don't think the facial capture is as good as in Horizon at all, and that's quite an achievement, and we're getting very close to movie quality here actually. Okay, next up we have the humor, and this is something not everyone actually notices when they play this game. Sometimes the humor is quite underplayed and a little bit on the hidden side. So, and other times, like in this scene I've picked here, it's fairly obvious. But if you do all the side quests and you do everything in the game, you will come across some quite funny dialogue really, and facial expressions, and I like that in a game, and especially when it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, like it is in Horizon Forbidden West. It just makes the game it adds another layer, and it's just it's very nice to see that there's been enough extra time to actually put stuff like this in the game. So next up we have the build diversity, and this is a place that the developers have really improved upon in Forbidden West over Zero Dawn. The multitude of ways that you can build your personal Aloy in this game, and use your personal weapons, it just makes it actually incredibly impressive really. And that's not all Also, Forbidden West has a lot of options, and if you are one of those players like myself who likes to tailor everything about the game to your specific liking, you know, Forbidden West is going to be an absolute wonder for you, because you can adjust everything from general stuff to controls to audio to visual, and also accessibility. Especially the accessibility, like, I mean, it's not just for people who, you know, require these things. It also helps you to, you know, adjust stuff that you really want, like the nitty-gritty stuff in the game. It's really, really awesome. All right, next up we have something that a lot of people have touched upon, and it's of course the combat in the game, because the combat in any of the Horizon games is just so smooth, so well thought through, and also so flexible. Like, you can do so many awesome things, and not just when it comes to weapons, of course. Like, another good thing about Forbidden West is that they have toned down the whole stealth aspect, so you don't have to you know, do stealth missions, which is fantastic. I hated those in the first game, but you can still do it. You can still, you know, play a stealthy Aloy, and the only thing is that you're not forced to do it in this game here, and that's the right way to go, and it gives you just plenty more options in your you know, playthrough. If you like stealth, you can go for it. If you hate it like I do, then just ignore it. You know, kudos to the development team for actually doing this. Alright, lastly, it's fairly obvious that the second game in the series here, Forbidden West, has taken a few cues from the Tomb Raider games, and one of those cues or improvements, and like massive improvements in this case here, is the fact that they've included a lot more puzzles in the game than the first time around. And I mean, they're not, you know, super difficult puzzles, but they are about the same difficult level as in Tomb Raider, and there's plenty of them. There's a lot of, you know, old ruins that you'll find scattered across the map, where you can, you know, solve an environmental puzzle, like something about like pushing boxes, or, you know, turning power on and off, and opening doors, and you know, like fairly standard stuff. But some of them are quite tricky, and they take a little bit to do, and I like puzzles in my games, and for me this is a huge plus in this game here. I haven't done all the puzzles yet, and they're also part of the campaign and side quests. It's not just, you know, bonus missions, and that is fantastic. So that was the last of my points I chose to add here in the video. So let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you out there.
An energy cell.